this anime wasn't bad, right? But it felt mid, okay? It felt mid, right? Yeah. This felt like Rimuru mid. Yeah. This was like, I'm watching Slime, but it's like Slime mid version, yeah. This felt like a lot like, it was so similar, right, to of course Rimuru in so many aspects. Even though I know there are like 3 other Slime Isekai animes too, like 300 Slimes and so on, right? And the Slime Cleaner guy and so on, yeah, the Isekai genre and so on, right? But I would say, for example, 300 Slime, you know, which also is voiced by a beautiful woman. Yeah, but also voices, you know, Minaide! Yeah, a woman has a very, very unique voice, yeah. But anyway, 300 Slime, for example, I liked more than this anime, for example, right? This doesn't mean this anime is terrible, but 300 Slime is more like, she's kind of like, you know, it's more comedic, right? She runs around with her slime, kills all the slimes, and then she gets a slap and so on. But whatever, like, this also felt like, yeah, Rimuru mid. Happy backstory. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys, this to me seems kind of meh, honestly. He just gets all the slimes immediately. He didn't have to try to find them, or fight them or anything. I mean, I know it's OP Isekai, but still, he just gets them all. Like, all the slimes do. Has he even tamed one slime or something? Like, they all use, I mean, it says they had to find them. This made no sense. They could easily keep running. Oh, no, I'm sorry, but this anime, yeah, the general writing, not very good. I'm not impressed. That kind of behavior doesn't make any sense. First impression, right? Review, reaction, all the good stuff, right? Here at Summertime Anime. Just yesterday, we find the Mushoku Tensei 2 trailer, right? Which was amazing, you know, how much I love Mushoku Tensei, the greatest Isekai ever, right? I see him Aqua shirt, but, you know, like, Konosuba is, of course, in my opinion, the greatest comedy, right? Of Isekais, right? But Mushoku Tensei is, you know, like, more whatever, drama, etchiness, whatever. But now then, as always, right, every season has like 10 new Isekais. So I want to review, of course, this Isekai then, right? The first, and see if it's paired up. It probably won't be good potentially, but, you know, maybe it's good. Obviously, I love Isekais, so, you know. So this anime is called Tensei Kenja no Isekai Life. So as it's called Isekai Life, it's obviously Isekai. We also got Isekai Harem coming, I believe in 2 days. And then a bunch of other, like, Isekai, I'm running a shop or whatever. So it's like, but I think the Isekai I am personally most looking forward to is Isekai Oji-san, right? Like this uncle coming back from Isekai world, because that anime, I think, is about the main character returning, right? From being Isekai back to Earth with his magic powers intact or something else. That to me is interesting. But this anime might be good too, right? So episode 1 here. I think you can usually measure if an Isekai could be. The opening is very telling, right? So the Konosuba opening is very happy, it's very comedic, right? Yeah, so he has some kind of, he's like a slime tamer, right? Yeah. He got some kind, he got the slime fires, and he got the wolf, and yeah, like he said, right, you know, it's like, this guy got super cool slimes, right? So he's Rimuru. If Rimuru had, I mean, Rimuru tames everything, doesn't he? Rimuru, he tames a lot of strange, yeah, Rimuru has all the freaking Isekai almost. Every time they have to have a cute, you know, like, we call it clerk girl, yeah, a girl that works at the guild, right? They have to have like a sexy cute girl that's like running the store, right? Yeah, they're gonna give flowers to her, right? Probably? Was that a quest item, maybe? Isekai, baby! He's so good at his quest that he got 1 million dry flowers. I mean, I was gonna say, I kinda prefer if Isekais, right, if they start with kinda like, how he get Isekai, right? Not a big fan of kinda starting. I mean, am I the only guy? I prefer to see how they get Isekai. This is starting immediately with him fighting some demons or goblins or whatever they are, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that from my personal preference, I usually prefer when they get hit by the truck and then we get in there, right? Here is that it starts immediately with the action. But I would like to know how his magic works or whatever, right? I would like to have more like, why are you a tamer? What is happening? But I don't know, what do you guys think? I prefer when it's like, okay, we get the... I feel the main case like, don't worry guys, I can take care of it by myself, right? He'll probably be like, you guys can just like stay in the corner, I'm just gonna go after you and be like, slime, fight for me, right? Actually, I'm OP, so I can do it myself, right? He's clearly OP, right? He's like, I can probably solo this off, yeah. He's like, I am actually level 1000, so I can do it myself. His slimes can... They're Kirby's, he's a bunch of Kirby's, yeah, they're... I also killed that dragon yesterday, so he's like, you killed that dragon. I mean, I love playing the Dragon Quest monster games. It's one of my favorite game series. you are a tamer, right? So you collect monsters. I really love the Dragon Quest tamer games, like Pokemon Dragon Quest, you know. And in those games, usually you have to get the Metal King slime or whatever, and then Gold slime, right? But in the first game, what you do is you have to mate with, like, you know, 2 slimes become a bubble, right? 2 bubbles become like a metal knight slime. 2 metal knight slime becomes like a metal king slime, right? Or a king slime, and then you have dup and so on, right? And you have to make them with metal slime so on. And they're a magic immune, right? So yeah, that's how you basically make a metal king slime, right? You have to, I think you have to capture like 16 metal slimes, right? And then you have to like merge them up into one big one, right? Basically. And then like gold slime, I think you need to have. It's these 2 Metal King slimes, or something special with that. To get a gold, the best monster in the game, yeah, gold slime. Oh, here we go, here's a cute girl, Team Dryad. Cute girl! It's some kind of perv here! There we go, that's a cute Dryad girl, there we go. His waifu, right, yeah, finally. You need to see the waifu. I mean, waiting for that. Can't just be the main character, right? You need to also have a sexy girl with him. It's that Isekai, man. He needs to have like 4 or 5 waifus, right? He's not Isekai. He needs to have a goddamn woman. I'm so very happy. He's really a great tamer. They love this guy, man. They're like, yay, party time. Yeah, the slimes are very happy to have. It gives me so much Rimuru vibes. It certainly does, right? He's his bro is like a wolf, you know. He's like, hey, yeah, and has a lot of slimes with him. It is such a Rimuru feel to it, man. It's like a big guy running around with the slimes on it. A wolf with slimes on his back, you know? Yeah, oh, this is like, okay, yeah. Is this Rimuru? Tensei Rimuru? This is so similar. Oh, like a UI for this. Here's like a map. It's like playing StarCraft. You got like his mini map. Oh, they're coming down there? Okay, yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, he's sending his, they're coming from the east corner now. It's like, yeah, you got a video game UI here. RTS, man. He's definitely playing an RTS game, yeah. This guy is standing there like he's controlling his slime armies. Like, he's seriously playing an RTS game. That's what he's doing, yeah. Seriously. He got like, you know, like 50 slimes, right? Then he's sending them out to different corners and using different abilities. Throw a lightning bolt there, throw fire, build a wall over there. He's playing StarCraft. That's what this guy's doing, yeah. He's a StarCraft master. Hope there's a backstory. He's an RTS master player. He's like the greatest player ever in StarCraft, called Isekai. Hopefully that's the backstory. Then I watched that. Awesome anime. Hopefully he's StarCraft master, like, you know, Diva in Overwatch. This is his backstory. He's probably like maybe Warcraft then, because it's fantasy magic, but you know, yeah, like he's gonna be the master of something like. You guys are the MVP clear out there in episode. Oh, the wolves help out too, right? Yeah, his best friend, the Okami. They come in and help out, you know. Every slime master needs their best wolf friend, right? It feels so much like Rimuru. He comes around, you know, yeah. Here comes, where's the goblin, right? You know, he needs to have some goblins to ride on the wolf. Oh my god, this is... Yeah, he needs the proud wolf, needs to have a goblin riders too, man. Then, yeah, Gopta needs to get up there, so face him. She's like, oh, what a man! The leaf here. That's the best slime with the little leaf thingy, the leaf rails or whatever. One of the cutest slime. That was a kawaii slime, man. Same for him. Just have a bunch of quirk ladies he can smash. There you go, his slime tamers. It's like, hey girl. Kawaii, eh? Kawaii! Come on, you're gonna like it, girl. So no one believes in Tamer for some reason. I don't know, yeah, they're all like, Tamer. For some reason, no one believes in Tamer or something. And she's thirsty too. I'm Lisa! You're a new boy? Yeah, she's... See, no one likes Tamer, sorry. They're all like, Tamer! Oh, that terrible class! Yeah, everyone's burn him, man! That's good. They're like, oh, loser! I do like they all look different. One is like a grumpy man, one is... Yeah. Sonana! Yeah, I do love how they look though. His slime buddies, yeah. Sonana! Yeah, it's like a different voice one. But, man, I don't know. I really wish we could explain the... Here we go then. Here comes some demon wolves or whatever. Something like that. Run into it though. It seems terrible. He's like, I take that armor over there. Okay, let's run into them. Yeah, I don't know why they ran into the trap, you know what I mean? Like, why would they run into them? What's the point of protecting enemies if you're gonna run into there and they're surrounding you because the ground is like... Yeah, okay, let's run into the trap the wolves have placed for us. This is so pointless. Okay, whatever, he's pretty cool, he's a cool fighter, but I'm just saying that... Yeah, pretty decent looking fight, but it's like... It just made no sense. It just didn't make any sense. I mean, it's one thing he wanna fight them. I mean, he can stab them. But why wouldn't he run in a better location for? Like, why wouldn't he come in you know, ambush to ambush? Why would he run into the ambush if you don't? I should do it. Okay, terrible. Like, I don't know what is hard to explain. Just tell him. Honestly, I don't understand what's hard for him to explain. They're like, tell us the truth, and he's like, I can't explain it. Like, how hard can it be to explain? He has slimes and a wolf guy. He's a tamer. Why wouldn't they understand that I have monsters? They're like, yeah, you're a tamer, okay? Yeah, you're a tamer. You're monsters. Makes sense. And then it's like, by using my monsters, I know what they can see. I'm connected to their eyes or whatever, right? You just explain to them that I can see what they see or whatever. Why wouldn't they understand that? People have magic, people can fly shit, right? Why wouldn't they understand that I am connected to my tamed monsters? I think it's a pretty easy explanation to give, right? I don't know, I think the writing is... I think a lot of the dialogue doesn't make any sense. If it's like, why could you explain it? And why is everyone like, tamers or shit or something? Or did he get... Or did he get backstabbed? No, this is when he got Isekai, but that was very weird. This is when he got Isekai, okay. We finally see how he got Isekai. Yeah, he wakes up in the forest. Yeah. And then he meets a oppa slime. And he tamed so easily too. It was very easy to tame slimes. Yeah, just touched it. Okay, then you just launch the scale by getting here. Okay, so you just read a book and you get everything. He wakes up at like a wizard house and he just reads all the books. Okay. You get OP by just randomly finding an old house or something. And all the slimes are there. This honestly, I think is like a pretty crappy backstory. I'll be honest with you guys. This to me seems kinda meh, honestly. He just gets all the slimes immediately. He didn't have to try to find them or fight them or anything. I mean, I know it's OP Isekai, but still, he just gets them all. Like all the slimes do. Has he even tamed one slime or something? Like they all just, I mean, he says that he had to find them. Yeah, and then they all love him immediately too. Yeah, he hasn't done anything yet, and they all just love him. He's an incredibly convenient OP Isekai. Everyone also loves him the most. Okay, I guess he dreamt a little bit, but that's it. I mean, I'd rather see them. I would rather see it keep going on the backstory and see how he met the Dryad and how he met the wolf and so on. Yeah, I would rather see them focusing on more of the backstory. What? Now they like trap something he escapes? Or what? Yeah, pretty bad. No animation really, but what was that? Like a lot of barbed wire? It looks like. Think about it. It's Hikachi. Yeah, no, wait a minute. The Tekken's coming? It's Hikachi. Yeah, he's definitely Hikachi. Now think about it, he has a sexy hair, man. He's almost got to take a body too. Yeah, what is this? It's old man Hikachi, man, doing some evil waifu kidnapping in an Isekai world. He's been Isekai after his son finally killed him, you know. Grand, so stupid, man. I think it's pretty bad, honestly, I feel. So now they went into the barbed wire, but they used to want over that wire, so that made no sense. That was really stupid. There's a lot of really stupid human actions in this episode, honestly. I mean, that was really stupid. And why are they look so scared now? Why? They can't just still keep running? What? Maybe that was better in Source, because that made no sense. Why can't they just keep running for? Yes, they triggered the wire, but you can keep running in the direction, right? What is the slime wolf fusion? It's metal slime king wolf form. Yeah, it's like what? But it just made no sense. They could easily keep running after they tripped the wire. There was no point of them just saying it and be like, they could have kept running, right? I'm sorry, but this anime, yeah, the general writing, not very good. I'm not impressed. That kind of behavior doesn't make any sense. Not the worst things in my life, but it's just a bit. Right? Maybe there was, yeah, they looked like they were like, oh my god, we just lost my leg or something. I don't know, I feel so far it's been a lot of this kind of half-ass weird behavior. Yeah, absolutely. 2 episodes now, and I still don't really know anything about him, if he's like weird. He's obviously worked as a developer or something, like IT company. Yeah, he was like a coder, right, or something like that. Or he is like a magic satchel, he gets summon tents from his slimes, yeah, exactly. Like how the tent also get out in fully built to. Yeah, it's like, why did you get a house instead? Like, give me a house. I would have been like, yeah, summon my house. Doko, Nani Doko-san. Where am I? So, let's review it, right? Tensei Slime. It was obviously felt similar to Rimuru. It can be undersaid, right? Not only, I mean, I keep saying it right, but come on, man. We have the wolf with the slimes on him, right? Running around here. And the guy even asked kind of similar. He's like, oh, I'm gonna build this thing and so on. Yeah, so it feels similar, right? Absolutely. But let's be honest here. You know, leave a comment, right? If you're a source reader, does this get better? And I genuinely mean that. I mean, let me say this thing. I didn't hate this, right? I didn't think it was terrible. This wasn't like, oh my god, this is shit, what is terrible. No. This anime wasn't bad, right? But it felt mid, okay? It felt mid, right? Yeah. This felt like Rimuru mid. Yeah. This was like, I'm watching Slime, but it's like Slime mid version, yeah. This felt like a lot like, it was so similar, right, to of course Rimuru, so many aspects. Even though I know there are like 3 other slime Isekai animes too, like 300 slimes and so on, right? And the slime cleaner guy and so on, yeah, the Isekai genre and so on, right? But I would say, for example, 300 slime, you know, which also is voiced by a beautiful woman. Yeah, but also voices, you know, Minaide! Yeah, a woman has a very, very unique voice, yeah. But anyway, 300 slime, for example, I liked more than this anime, for example, right? This doesn't mean this anime is terrible, but 300 slime is more like, she's kind of like, you know, it's more comedic, right? She runs around there with her slime, kills all the slimes, and then she gets a slap and so on. But whatever, like, this also felt like, yeah, Rimuru mid. Rimuru mid version. That's probably the best. I mean, it wasn't like terrible, but it just felt kind of like, yeah, he's an OP Isekai guy and that. But anyway, let's start. I was gonna say it first, right? And you know, so honestly, right, if you're a source reader, you know, does it improve? Does it keep this level of it, right? And I used again to emphasize, right? I must say this is the worst Isekai I've seen in my life. I've seen way worse Isekais, episode 1 and 2, definitely. But I also have seen way better, right? For example, yet again, yesterday we had, you know, Mushoku Tensei 2 trailer, right? Mushoku Tensei episode 1 and 2 are amazing, right? I mean, in what episode 2 Tensei, I was like 11 out of 10. That was just so good, you know. When Rudy has this, you know, agoraphobia and he can't go outside the house, so right. Episode 2 potentially is like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece episode, right? Of course, it feels unfair comparing this Isekai to arguably, in my opinion at least, right, the best Isekai ever, Mushoku Tensei, which I really do think it is, right? Again, like I said earlier, Aqua, you know, Konosuba is my favorite comedy Isekai, right? But from like a, you know, dramatization, from a drama, whatever standpoint, right? Storytelling standpoint, whatever you call it, Mushoku Tensei is number 1, right? But I still think it's important to say, because let me try to review the episode here, right? This didn't feel very interesting, right? Here in the beginning here. He is Isekai, but I'm lacking, right? And I'll say here immediately again, this is a personal opinion of me, right? But I prefer if we start here, right? I prefer, or actually a little bit, you know, before this, right? I prefer Isekais when we start how the Isekai, right? So if you compare something to Rimuru then, right? Rimuru started him getting killed, right? Saving this girl, right? Then he gets killed, and then he, you know, meets, you know, gets in to meet his best friend, as you know, the dragon best friend and so on, right? Veldora and so on, yeah. And meets him with Veldora, you know, eats the stuff in the cave and so on, right? So we kind of see how he gets, you know, OP, right? This guy, first is this is 10 minutes into episode 2. So first is one episode, full episode, he meets fight some demons, and then half an episode of party members, and then we see this thing, right? I don't prefer that, okay? Maybe the source different, right? Maybe it starts with how he got the powers. I don't know, but I would have preferred it started here, right? I would have preferred it. And then, of course, he gets into the house, right? Gets all the magic and so on. So this very briefly explained how he got OP, right, immediately. But still, I would much better prefer if it started here. Absolutely. And this I will say, though, is a personal opinion, right? Some people definitely prefer when they kind of act at the beginning and then you kind of say got there. But I just think that it would be more interesting. Okay, let me say this thing, though. I think, I mean, again, subjective to say if you prefer the Isekai stuff or whatever. But objectively speaking, though, it would be better if it explains some of the rules, though, right? That's what I still am lacking, though. And this is why we get probably this anime the hardest critique on this episode, right? 1 and 2 here, I still don't think that I know almost anything about this anime. You know what I mean? Like the actual universe. So that's a huge issue here. This could have been in episode 2, right? How he got the powers and so on, right? But this scene was way too short. Because after we see this thing, the slime come in, he gets all the magic, we go back to the party, right? So I still don't know, like, what country are we in? What's the planet called, right? What are the rules? What are the classes? Because one thing this anime does, right, is that it keeps, like, people are like, oh, you're a tamer? Tamer are noobs or whatever, yeah. They keep, like, insulting him for being a tamer and so on. But that doesn't make any sense, right, from a viewer standpoint, because we have no understanding that tamers are weak or strong, right? I have no understanding what is the best class, right? Compared to something like Alifurata, where he gets the synergist role. Like, oh, that's a crappy role, not even a hero, not a paladin, whatever, right? But then it's explained to me in the beginning he has the worst role, right? It's explained he has the underdog power, right? Is the tamer supposed to be an underdog? I guess. That's kind of implied by people's comments. But again, right, the anime doesn't explain that. So this in here should have been much longer. In my opinion, it should be how it should start. But even if it should be episode 2 should have explained the world, right? So I still don't know much about the world setting here, right? And thinking about it, there's so many. I've seen, 100 plus isekais by now, right? Probably more than that. I've seen like a few hundred isekais, I guess, if you count in all these old school isekais from the 90s and so on, yeah. Seriously, I might have probably seen like 200 isekais or something, at least probably. I don't know how many isekais I've seen, but I've seen a lot of isekais. And my point, of course, is that I've seen so many isekais where episode 1 and 2, or just episode 1 alone, can explain so much more of the actual world. I want to know what fantasy world we're in, right? I want to know the rules, I want to know some of the stuff, the tamer and so on. They also have to spend like 20 minutes only on that, but it has to spend some minutes on that, so I know something about the world. It spent like half a minute on that, right? So I still feel very just, okay, he's in a fantasy world. It feels very generic. I have no idea what's actually happening, you know what I mean? And the main character, of course, is like a dead inside, right? Typical. Let's be honest here. Let's go because, and that also what it seemed to me. This made no sense, right? Because like this before we saw the Isekai, how we got there, the girls are like, "How can you detect stuff?" They're like, "How does your power works?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't explain that." Right? But he could easily said a lie and said, "I can communicate with my slime stride, so I know what they see or hear or whatever." Right? How hard that to explain? They have magic. They can, people have spells and powers or whatever. Why can't they just explain to them that I am a tamer, so I can communicate with my monsters? That shouldn't be very like far-fetched for these warrior ladies to understand, right? Because they have dragons and so on. He's like, "Oh, my wolf guy, we can talk. I can talk wolf, Like, why would that be weird, right? Because again, right, some people can throw fireballs, you know what I mean? And he can talk to animals. It doesn't seem to be a far-fetched concept, right? But maybe it is in this world, right? Maybe he is the only tamer that can talk to his tamed monsters. But again, the anime hasn't explained that, right? The anime hasn't explained for a second why they can't understand that he can understand animals or whatever. Right? So that to me again seems very, very weird. Why didn't they explain this stuff, right? It just didn't work much of the dialogue. It just didn't work for many reasons. But that's one of the reasons. He's pretty much on no personality, right? This is obviously very common for a lot of isekais, right? Because the viewer is supposed to use self-insert, right? It could be me, so they have no personality whatsoever. And I definitely don't prefer that. But it could have been good. It could still work, though. But that's probably more lack of the fantasy world building, right? Like, it's so bad world. But the world building is bad here. The world building is definitely the weakest part of 2 episodes. Like I said again, right, just to really emphasize, you can find so many isekais with 1 episode that's much better world building. This is a double episode 1 and 2. Yet the world building. I don't see it didn't make any sense though. Like I'm being negative here, right? But like episode 1 was just kind of okay, right? This is he's fighting some demons and using magic. Episode 1 was much better, honestly. Episode 1 was better, but episode 1 was like straight up, I'm an OP tamer guy. I'm RTSing it, real time strategy master. I'm beating someone, right? Episode 2 was like just felt kind of. It also felt more lacking in the actual action or whatever, right? But like this in here, this was the worst scene. Because this I don't understand. I'm just going to say, I don't understand this scene. This was just really bad. Like, what happened here? So the girls are trying to escape, right? Or they heard that he is kidnapping girls, right? So they want to go back to the camp or city, I guess, to tell them that this guy, their party members, actually is like kidnapped young girls, right? And also men, I guess, but whatever, yeah. So mostly girls, right? So that's why he teamed up with them, right? So he can sell them, obviously. And then they have some barbed wire that he for some reason easily escaped, and then they didn't tell me, and then they're gonna walk after him, right? So they saw him doing it to begin with, so they know there are barbed wires there, and they easily pass through all the barbed wires, right? So they can listen into the conversation, and then immediately afterward they just turn around and trigger the barbed wire. That to begin with was really stupid, because they obviously knew there was barbed wire behind them, because they just passed over that. They just walked over that barbed wire, you know what I mean? So they just did this thing, right? Over the barbed wire, and then immediately they're like, is what into it, yeah. Wouldn't they go this, turn around, and go like this, right? Yeah. Why would you stop doing this thing, right? And then just do like that. Yeah, why would you do that for? That doesn't make any sense. That was just so stupid. So that alone, honestly, I felt really like, if I review the anime, right, and say like, it's a 7 out of 10. Now that was 6 out of 10 for me immediately, when the girls just turn around and immediately went into the barbed wire, which they just had walked over, right? Like 5 minutes, like a minute or 2 minutes, or maybe maximum 5 minutes prior, they just didn't trigger that barbed wire, and it's behind them, and they know that. And they saw him, and those guys are talking about it too, right? You're like, what, right? It just feels absurd. And then it is into this thing that they both get like, oh no, we're gonna fight now or something, right? We have no choice but to fight. And then you sit there and they look really scared and kind of almost crying. And I'm just like, no. I mean, certainly triggering the barbed wire seemingly only did like a sound effect, like some kind of bells, right? Certainly that means that you probably have to fight, but wouldn't you run away? You know what I mean? Like, because they know he's gonna kidnap them to obviously, you know, assault them and, you know, take them as slaves or whatever, right? Yeah. So of course, I turn around, trigger the barbed wire, which is really stupid. But after it happened, right, you will start running, right? You would just be like, oh no, I triggered the barbed wire, they hear me. I gotta, you know, wait until they arrive. No, you know their intent over there, so you will start running away from the tent, right? As soon as you trigger the barbed wire, you will just keep running, right? You know, you have a head start from them anyway, so you would run away from them, right? The barbed wire didn't hurt them. It didn't make any sense. The barbed wire should have been like a bomb or something, and then they would be injured and be like, we have to fight, you know. But now the barbed wire would mean that you walk towards the tent, you trigger it, which is the sound effect, and then you can run away the other direction, right? And these guys know they're gonna get kidnapped, so they will just run. Instead, they just stood there in fear after they triggered it. You see, it was just really bad. You see, it was terrible. Like it was like a -2 or something in its score. It was stupid how they. Again, it was really stupid how they triggered the barbed wire for no reason whatsoever, because they could see it a second before, right? And then it was even more dumb how they just stood here and waited for him to arrive. So anyway, I think there was a lot of these kind of weird moments in the end. It was obviously the worst, but there was a lot of these weird moments where I felt like, why does this guy don't trust our tamer to fight them? Why does this dryad woman, why are the slimes afraid of dying or something? It was a lot of weird dialogue that didn't really work. Could be because the world being so lacking, right? But then there was also this kind of action where the character just felt really dumb, and like when they run into the wolf trap for some reason, or the whatever ambush we call it, right? Because he tells them that, oh, there are wolves like over there in that corner ambushing people. Okay, let's run up there. Why wouldn't you run like that? Why wouldn't you go around, you know? You might want to go and fight the wolves anyway, but you wouldn't go straight into the trap. You would go like on the side. They run into that cabin, right? So they could get attacked by the wolves. So the wolf had the, you know, upper ground for some reason. It was pretty pointless. He could just walk around and have the same ground as the wolves. So what's the point of having the texture if you're not gonna use it in a smart way anyway? So no, the characters were way too dumb. Seriously, the more I think about the anime, the less I like it. It's just like, holy shit, man. And again, it wasn't like the worst thing ever, but it's just like, there were so many really contrived actions. It felt really weird. And the lack of world building and so on. Man, yeah, it's Rimuru Mid, man. Rimuru Mid. I very unlikely watch another episode, right? I get spoiled by how good Tensei is. No, but seriously, I mean, it's like, what did I watch? It was okay, but it wasn't like, yeah, it was weird, man. This is just so terrible. This scene really disappointed me, right? Because up to this point, I was like, okay, this anime is decent. It's not the best Isekai, but it's okay, kinda. And then this scene, I was like, okay, this is so stupid. Like, yeah, and this scene, I was just like, nah, this. Here, I was like, I'm dropping it, basically. This really felt like a scene where this is what I'm dropping the anime for, in a way. Not saying I'm dropping it completely, but I was like, you know, mentally, I was like, oh, I was like, I'm out of, yeah, I was like, I'm detached from the show now. This scene was just, it doesn't make any sense, right? If it is exploded and one leg, I just feel like, they didn't explain that, right? Was it medical? Did they get poisoned? Well, imagine that the both girls were like, no, it's a numbing poison. I can't run anymore or something. Yeah, but they just didn't say that. I really feel like maybe the source explains better that why can't they just run for? Why wouldn't they at least try? You know what I mean? Yes, they might want to fight, but they should run as long as they can, right? Even if they're like injured, wouldn't you keep trying to move away from it, right? And then fight them, you know what I mean? You would just be like, oh no, I'm bleeding, I can't just lie down and die. It feels really, really weird. Or at least you would run for a short duration, and then you would try to trap them, you know what I mean? You would go back, you would retreat, right? Maybe a few hundred meters, hide somewhere, and then try to ambush them when they're coming after you, right? They basically just tripped the wire, took one step and said, oh, we're gonna die. You know, it felt so weird. Yeah, they were like tripping. Oh no! Yeah, and I was like, oh, we're gonna die now. Yeah, it was just like, what? I don't know. The more I think about it, the less I like it. You know, honestly, yeah. I started and talked myself into disliking it even more. But anyway, guys, subscribe, press that like button. Some people are getting angry at me now. You know, some fans of the show are probably angry, right? But I'm just being like, I don't know. Like, the more I watched, the less I liked it. But I really felt it didn't really perform so good with the... I think still, though. This scene, I hate the scene, but it is mostly the lack of world building, though. For a fantasy anime, or rule setting, or whatever. The roles, the why is Isekai for, or whatever. All this stuff is just so lacking, right? It's just like, they spend like half a minute on him finding the books. And then that, to me... It's a bad episode 1 and 2, right? It's a double episode, so I expect to know a lot more about the world or the main characters and his powers before I, go on, right? But I guess you guys have a great day. Subscribe, slap us on, and